Hello, everybody. Yes, now we enter 201st boxing prediction video. Yeah, round. Uh, so, yeah, this upcoming weekend there are not so many fights that are really, like worth talking about, but there are a couple maybe. Anyway, the big fight is on Sunday between Tszyu and Tony Harrison. Yeah, that's right. So Team Two was supposed to fight. He was supposed to fight Jamel Charlo, but Charlo got injured, so it got postponed. And yeah, I think actually, yeah, this is for the interim WBO title titles. Yeah, title. Sorry. Yeah. So what happened is but first, before I get to that fight, anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked. I gonna say there's a card in Liverpool actually on Saturday, which features a fight between Callum Smith and Pawel Stepien. So I never heard of this guy Stepien, of course, who had, but I think he was like a last minute substitute for somebody else. Not sure who it was, but well, it was a Western fighter anyway. But anyway, Pawel Stepien is an undefeated fighter from Poland. He's at 18-0-1 with 12 knockouts. And he's only an inch shorter than Smith, so there's he's the same age also as him, 32. But as far as I can see, doesn't hasn't really. I mean, his most famous win, or actually two wins, are against. Oh, I see now. He also beat Dmitry Sukhotsky. All right. Well, who was past his prime, of course. Yeah, he stopped actually Sukhotsky. He also beat Gerard Ajetovic, who is like a fringe contender, a tough guy, but never really top notch fighter. And he also beat another such guy, Ezequiel Osvaldo Maderna. Ezequiel, who is from Argentina. Yeah, and recently he actually upset Carol Itoma. Yeah, but anyway, he's got many losses already. So those are his. That's the opponent of Callum Smith. And from what I know about Polish fighters, mostly is that they are tough, like come forward fighters usually who, yeah, who like to mix it up, and so this will be. But some of them can also be kind of static, not really, you know, fluid in their movement and stuff like that. And the thing with Callum Smith is, he's a guy who sometimes can look very like also static and lethargic almost, but suddenly he can just explode and hit and nail the guy with the right punch. That's what pretty much what happened against Border League in his last fight. He was being outboxed. In the first three rounds he lost them definitely. And Border League is one of those more like fast, slick guys, obviously. But then Callum just nailed him, boom, with a big punch, and that's all she wrote. And this will probably. I mean, I said I don't know really this guy Stepien, but he looks like more like an offensive fighter who does have some power, but doesn't really always win. Even those fighters who he should have stopped, logically he did not. Some of them. So Means he's not a too effective fighter, not too accurate probably also. So yeah, I expect Callum Smith to stop this guy like I don't know when in 6 rounds or 7 or 8 or something like that because he's simply the better fighter in fighting at home and just he needs this win so he can move on to bigger better things. Yes, definitely. And actually, on that same card says Callum Smith should win by a knockout anyway. All right. Maybe, I mean, it can go distance. As I said, Polish fighters tend to be tough. I mean, look at the guy who went the distance against Okoli. He was down, and that was a very dirty fight. So this guy can also survive only if he gets dirty and goes to the body and doesn't stay on the outside because that's when Smith usually scores his knockouts when he gets the guy, on his range, you know, on a distance and not from the inside. That's why he struggled against John Ryder so much because he kept going to the body, kept going inside. So yeah, all right. Anyway, yeah. And then all right, Tony Harrison versus Team Two. That fight. This is a very interesting fight, people. Um, yeah, Tony Harrison, you might say he's no longer at his peak. Yeah, probably not. And he has that tendency to get caught and stopped late, and all that stuff, which is a shame because he's a talented guy. I mean, he's still the only guy officially anyway to beat Jermel Charlo, and I don't care what some people say. Oh, that was a robbery. I don't think it was. So yeah, I mean, he's coming a pretty good win over Sergio Garcia, yeah. So he's a tall guy, for his weight 6'1". Yeah, he can punch, he can box very well. That's how he beat Charles by boxing him and counter punching him, staying up close, and yeah, just didn't give him much space. So that's the way you beat guys like Charles. Castaño was also very successful in the first fight because he did pretty much the same thing. He crowded Charles, right? But enough about that. And Team Tszyu, yeah, seems to be he's a lot shorter, yeah, but that shouldn't really play much difference. He's like 5'8.5". Wow. So there's like 4 inches, 4.5 inch height disadvantage, but he's got a big reach actually. But still 4.5 inch reach there as well. He he loses to Harrison. Yeah, I mean for Harrison it may play a difference, but as I said, he tends to get to wind down late in the fight, and he was also stopped in a rematch against Charlo late in the 11th round. Yeah, that's how he usually loses, Tony Harrison. And he's gonna be fighting in a hostile territory, in a hostile crowd in Sydney. And Team Tszyu, of course, as the like successor of the great Kostya Tszyu, who is like almost a god in Australian boxing circles. he he's got a lot, of course he's got big shoes to fill, but he's got the support anyway from the crowd, and he will just have to do fight his own fight and not try to outbox Harrison. He will have to just be the aggressor, of course, and try to just land enough punches and try to get him out of there. But even if he doesn't manage to do that, he should just. It's enough if that he just lands enough punches and bullies Harrison on the inside, and that's what I think he will do because Harrison, being a boxer who can punch, is not so good. I mean, at that game of as I said, in a true war, he's never been that good. I mean, he never lasted till the end, and yeah. Anyway, not against a top fighter. So yeah, Team 2, 28 years of age. Still got, his a lot of almost his whole career ahead of him, as they say, or has many good years left. While Harrison is 32, so he's approaching the end of his best years, and has, of course, as I said, been stopped 3 times already by Jared Hurd, also Willie Nelson, first time in a fight which he was winning definitely and handily against Willie Nelson. I remember that one. But yeah, he came back to his credit. He scored some good wins, and of course, his by far best one was his marquee win was against Charles. A close fight, but still, I thought he just snatched it. He deserved the nod. And Team 2, there has been some criticism against him for his last fight against Terrell Gaucher when he was dropped and had some tough moments, shaky moments, but he held on to win, in the end still. And yeah, I mean, you cannot just knock him for that. I mean, Terrell Gaucher is not exactly a bad fighter either, so he's not like an A level fighter, but still, a tough guy who can box and yeah, who has only lost to the very best. So yeah, Team 2 has definitely shown that he has the talent and all the tools to succeed, at this level. But if this fight is of course very important, if he doesn't, if even if he wins but doesn't look good, of course that will, get his stock down. His stock will fall, but of course, if he loses, then it will be pretty bad for his career. But he can still, come back. But for Harrison, this is like, do or die. If he loses this fight, you know, he's in a, not a good position simply, So I think he will be looking to make an upset here, and I can definitely see him too, creating a lot of problems, a lot of trouble for Tim. Uh, but still, Tim being the fresher fighter, the younger guy, having enough power also. I mean, he stopped Dennis Hogan, for instance, Jeff Horn also. Yeah, some decent, really solid fighters, and yeah, I just think that he's got too much on his side, uh, to lose this fight in the end. Yeah. So yeah, I think it will be hard for Tony Harrison to win. I mean, even and if it's a very close fight, of course we know how it can go. That the home favorite usually does get the nod. Not always, but usually, or it's a draw maybe, or something like that. But I think my prediction is that Team 2 wins this on points in a tough fight, close fight. But I expect him to take over especially in the last 3 or 4 rounds when Harrison usually fades, and he will. If he really goes for it, I think he can even score a knockout in those last rounds, but not before that. Not before that. I would be really surprised if it happens like around 7 or something, 8. Uh, so yeah, I mean, there you have it. Team 2, I expect him to win on points, most likely, yeah. If he stops Tony Harrison, it will be a major statement, no doubt. A major statement that he is the real, successor to his father, and that he is a real threat to Charles' throne. All right, so that's all for this time, and I'll see you next week. All right, have a good one. Enjoy the fights. Bye.